Eubank, and we will discuss. And I want to see it in 25.
What is your...
Any of them. I'll fight any of them, anytime, anywhere.
But who's the best matchup for you?
I want to challenge myself against the best in the world, and that's Usyk. Usyk is beating Joshua, Usyk is beating Tyson, Usyk is beating Dubois. He's beating everyone that's put in front of him, and I want to test myself again.
I wasn't expecting it to be announced today, but it is what it is. I'm not, I've had a lot of media asking me my opinion of it today. It is what it is. I think on one side you have to understand the business of it.
And there it is, straight from Turki Alalshikh himself. Usyk versus Parker is officially on the horizon, and the boxing world can barely contain its excitement. A historic December showdown, the kind you don't see twice in a lifetime. This isn't hype, it's destiny taking center stage.
Everyone is happy. It is something amazing, never have in your life again. I hope to live.
And the buzz doesn't stop there. Tony Bellew's already thrown his thoughts into the mix. Tony Bellew knows what fans want. A proper test for the pound-for-pound king. By calling for Parker to face Usyk, he's echoing what many in the boxing world are thinking. Parker's earned his shot, but earning a fight and actually dethroning Usyk are two very different challenges.
The world owes Joseph Parker.
Yeah.
The whole heavyweight division owes Joseph Parker, so I'll just say that straight away now.
He gets his arm raised and he sails off into the sunset.
I think if this guy wins, he's literally done it all. He'll be...
Would you want Joseph Parker's name on your ledger, though?
I mean,
maybe the last one,
possibly, maybe
No,
Parker is the only
will.
one, but
Yeah.
I know on him he probably will. But if I was him, what he's done at cruiserweight, what he's done at heavyweight, he's cleaned out all the top guys, minus Joe Parker, because he hasn't had the opportunity yet. Now, I love Big Joe, but you would have to favour Usyk in a fight against Joe. If I'm Usyk, I don't even like this game. I hated this game. I had to get out. I've done it. I've completed it. I've done it.
Yeah, do you know what? I might be
it.
making a U-turn now. I might be saying Parker, then retire.
Yeah.
Parker, then retire. Then you've...
Carl Froch nails it. Parker's put in the work, no doubt about it. He's fast, durable, and consistent. But when you compare resumes, Usyk's greatness shines on another level. Parker may have earned his payday, but has he earned belief? That's the real question. Against Usyk, respect doesn't guarantee survival.
Parker did the business. Parker's done everything he needs to do now to warrant a shot at Usyk. But would you even give Joseph Parker a chance at Usyk? It'd be an interesting fight. Quite fast hands, high work rate. But let's not forget who Parker's lost to already. I mean, lost to Dillian Whyte a few years ago, and he's since been beaten a few times by people that really couldn't lace Usyk boots. And I'm not having a go at Joseph Parker. And I do think that if anybody deserves a fight, he does. He deserves the fight, deserves the payday. But is anybody realistically giving Joseph Parker a chance against Oleksandr Usyk?
When a legend like Roy Jones Jr. talks, the boxing world listens. He isn't handing Parker the crown, but he's pointing out something real. Parker's blend of experience and toughness could make life tricky for Usyk. Still, tricky isn't enough. Usyk's mastery has dismantled far greater threats than Parker, and history shows he thrives under pressure.
Joseph Parker is the best fight for him right now because Joseph Parker is a guy who has the qualities and the experience that it would take to give Usyk the hardest time. Not saying he's going to beat Usyk by no means, but he will give Usyk the hardest time of anybody. And if anybody, I think, if they said, Roy, you got to take one guy right now, put your money on against Usyk, who would it be? It would be Joseph Parker.
Andy Lee lays it bare. Fighting Usyk isn't about strength alone, it's about rhythm, endurance, and mental steel. Usyk is a predator of patterns. He senses when opponents fade, and that's when he pounces. Lee's confidence in Parker is that Joe has removed those pauses, the lapses that leave fighters vulnerable against a genius like Usyk. It's a crucial adjustment, no doubt, but is it enough? Usyk has been solving puzzles his entire career, from cruiserweight dominance to outclassing Anthony Joshua twice. Every so-called improvement from his opponents has ended up being another weapon in Usyk's own arsenal. For Parker, erasing breaks his progress, but against a technician as sharp as Usyk, even one slip, one hesitation can cost everything. The question is whether Parker's evolution can genuinely hold up under the bright lights of December.
Everybody wants to fight the best of their era. Hamza wants to fight Canelo. Joe wants to fight Usyk. We always want to challenge ourselves as fighters.
And Parker himself speaks up, revealing the belief and trust he carries into this fight. Parker's words carry quiet conviction. He isn't brash, he isn't overhyping, he's simply placing faith in his preparation and his team. With Andy Lee guiding tactics and George Lockhart shaping his conditioning, Parker believes he'll bring something new to the table, a game plan no one has seen before. It's refreshing, but belief doesn't always translate into execution. Against Usyk, countless fighters have entered the ring convinced they'd found the secret, only to be broken down, frustrated, and outclassed. Usyk dismantles not just bodies but minds, forcing opponents to abandon plan A, B, and C before the fight is even halfway through. Parker's self-belief is admirable, but against a man who thrives on unpredictability and has yet to taste defeat, confidence alone might not be enough. Still, his calm approach shows he's coming not as a victim, but as a genuine challenger.
I believe wholeheartedly in my ability and what I can do in the ring. I have full confidence that give me a good camp or give me some time to put in the work with Andy Lee and George Lockhart. Want to come up with a good game plan, probably different to everyone else's one.
And that's exactly why voices like Tony Bellew are quick to remind everyone just how untouchable Usyk really is. Tony Bellew puts it bluntly, Oleksandr Usyk is untouchable. The beauty of Usyk's craft isn't just in his skill, but in his adaptability. He tailors his body, his pace, his rhythm to the man in front of him. Against Dubois, he deliberately bulked up and slowed down his own movement because he knew Dubois lacked the speed to exploit it. That's not just fighting, that's chess. It shows Usyk's genius lies in controlling every variable, bending fights to his will. Parker may bring stamina and work rate, but will it matter against someone who can change the entire tempo of a fight with one adjustment? Bellew's point is clear. Usyk doesn't just react, he dictates. And when you're up against a man like that, you're already fighting uphill before the first bell even rings.
And I never will. There's no one who's going to beat him. I just think technically, physically now, he's at the weight and he's adapted and he's adjusted. I mean, he's even adjusted and adapted his weight for this fight individually. I mean, he put on how much weight and slowed the actual feet down because Daniel Dubois' feet.
And then Usyk himself makes it crystal clear. He's ready for Parker. No hesitation, no doubt. Few words, maximum weight. When Usyk says he's ready, the boxing world believes him. This is a man who has faced every challenge without fear, from conquering cruiserweight to dethroning Anthony Joshua in back-to-back fights. Ready for Parker doesn't just mean physically conditioned, it means mentally sharp, tactically locked in, and spiritually unshakable. Usyk thrives on these moments, these historic nights when the pressure is suffocating for anyone else. For him, it's simply where he belongs. Parker may be bigger, younger, and fresher, but readiness isn't about size, it's about mindset. And Usyk's readiness has always been the separator. His calmness, his aura, his ability to rise above the chaos. These are qualities Parker cannot train into existence. So when Usyk says he's ready, it's more than a statement, it's a warning. December isn't about preparation, it's about proving once again why he's the pound-for-pound king.
They all want to fight you, Alexander. Who next?
Maybe it's Tyson Fury, Derek Chisora, and Anthony Joshua. Maybe Joseph Parker. I cannot now say. I wanna back home.
But while Usyk keeps it short, Adi Oladipo adds a different flavor, appreciating Parker's bold callouts. Adi Oladipo captures the spirit of it. Joseph Parker isn't shy, and his callouts are becoming part of his identity. From Joshua to White and now Usyk, Parker doesn't hesitate to aim high. That ambition is admirable, and fans respect the hunger. But Oladipo's honesty shines through. Wanting it and getting it are two very different things. Callouts make headlines, but when the bell rings, you need more than words, you need levels. Parker's unique in that his callouts aren't brash or trash talk. They're respectful, almost old school, which makes them refreshing. Still, 80 hints at the truth. This fight might feel like a dream pairing, but the likelihood of Parker toppling Usyk remains slim. Fans may love the storyline, but deep down, most know Usyk holds the upper hand. Yet, that's why we watch, because boxing lives in the space between belief and reality.
These call-outs are so unique. I feel like it's going to fall on deaf ears.
Unfortunately, it will.
I appreciate the call-out.
I appreciate that. I remember he did it with Dylan White and Anthony Joshua last year. And every one of them, they just get better and better. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I will say this now, right? I would rather see Parker versus Usyk than Dubois versus Usyk. I'll say it now.
Really?
I don't think we'll get Parker Usyk, but I would rather see it.
Frank Warren lays down the reality. This isn't just talk anymore, it's business. Usyk has the belts, and with that comes responsibility, mandatories. The WBO has spoken, and Joseph Parker is first in line. That means Usyk can't simply choose an easier path. The obligation is clear. For Parker, this is the golden ticket, the kind of opportunity every fighter dreams of. But Warren's mention of the UK adds spice. Imagine Usyk walking into Parker's adopted home turf with British fans roaring for an upset. That atmosphere alone would be electric. Yet if history tells us anything, Usyk thrives in hostile environments. He silenced London when he beat Joshua, and he'll happily do it again. Negotiations may bring hype and logistics, but when that bell rings, it boils down to skill versus will. And on that front, Usyk has never failed to deliver.
As I was saying before the fight, we now know who holds the belts, who's the number one, and he's going to have to make his mandatories now. And his first mandatory is the WBO against Joe Parker. So Joe Parker will get his opportunity. That's BO basically said we've got to start negotiating with each other, and that's what we're doing. I'd love to put the fight on in the UK.
Spencer Oliver voices the question haunting heavyweight boxing. Who on earth can beat Oleksandr Usyk? The answer isn't clear, but the next challenger is Joseph Parker. With the WBO mandate, Usyk can't sidestep this one, and Oliver calls it straight. Parker is the man waiting, and he's earned his moment. More importantly, Oliver frames it as Usyk's biggest challenge right now. That doesn't mean Parker is favored. It means in today's landscape, he's the one fighter with momentum, durability, and enough belief to step up. But when you strip it down, even Parker's biggest challenge tag feels relative. Usyk has answered tougher riddles before, dismantling Joshua's power and neutralizing Dubois' youth. Oliver's words highlight anticipation, but also underline Usyk's greatness, because if Parker is truly the sternest test left, it says more about Usyk's dominance than Parker's chances.
Who's going to beat him? You know, who is that guy? I think the guy that deserves a shot next, by the way, is Joseph Parker. He's the guy that's been waiting, and I think the WBO have mandated that fight. So unless Oleksandr Usyk vacates the belt, he will have to fight Joseph Parker next. That'll be an interesting fight. That's probably his biggest challenge for him.
Spencer Oliver doesn't mince his words. He sees Oleksandr Usyk as untouchable, a man destined to retire without a blemish on his record. That's the scale of dominance we're talking about. Usyk isn't just winning fights, he's rewriting heavyweight history with every performance. For Oliver to suggest retirement undefeated is to put Usyk in the same breath as legends who left the sport on top, and yet he points out Joseph Parker as potentially the final dance partner, the man who might just tempt Usyk into one more night under the lights. It's a fascinating prospect, the relentless Kiwi trying to crack the code of a genius many believe is unbreakable. Oliver's faith in Usyk's invincibility isn't bias, it's observation. Time and again, Usyk has adapted, evolved, and conquered. If Parker is the last obstacle, it's less about stopping Usyk and more about witnessing whether greatness truly has no ceiling.
I don't think anyone can beat him out there right now. I don't think anyone will ever beat him. I think he'll retire undefeated. I think he'll fight one more time, and that probably is possibly against Joseph Parker, but...
Which leaves us with one burning question. What's really at stake if Usyk and Parker collide in December? And so it all comes down to this: Oleksandr Usyk versus Joseph Parker, a clash that feels less like a fight and more like a chapter being written in boxing history. Usyk stands as the genius of the modern era, a man who solved every riddle placed before him, conquering cruiserweight and heavyweight with the same calm brilliance. Parker, meanwhile, is not arriving as a brash pretender, but as a respectful, hungry challenger who has rebuilt his momentum and earned his mandatory shot. That contrast is what makes this bout fascinating. Usyk, the proven master of adaptation, versus Parker, the quiet believer with a plan to shock the world. The stakes couldn't be higher. Victory for Usyk means cementing his pound-for-pound greatness and edging closer to retiring undefeated. Victory for Parker would rewrite the heavyweight landscape overnight, shaking the sport to its core. And this is where you come in. Who are you backing when December arrives? Is it Usyk's brilliance that carries the day once more, or do you believe Parker's conviction can break the unbreakable? Drop your thoughts below, because this fight isn't just about belts, it's about legacy, destiny, and proving who truly rules the heavyweight throne.